What happens when Resident Evil goes full mobile with touch controls, RTS combat, and gacha summons? Does the game actually deliver something worth playing, or does it miss the mark entirely? Right from the start, the game throws you into a dark hospital room where you take control using a simple touchscreen setup. The isometric camera is a first for the franchise, and while it does bring a kind of retro charm, almost like a distant cousin of those old fixed camera RE days, it doesn't really hit with the impact it wants to. You move around, tap glowing icons, check objects, read files, pick up keys, and yes, even enjoy the classic door loading animations resurrected from the early 2000s. It's a nostalgic touch, but nostalgia alone can't carry an entire experience. Exploration is easily the strongest part of the demo. The environments look decent, the atmosphere is familiar, and the game clearly wants to remind you why Resident Evil is such a style icon. But beyond a surface-level feeling, there's not much that hooks you. Everything feels like a lighter, flatter version of the real deal, as if the game wants to replicate classic RE but keeps stopping halfway. The puzzles try to keep that survival horror brainwork alive, and they're serviceable. You'll still shuffle through notes, put clues together, and pretend you're more observant than you really are. It works most of the time, but the puzzle sections also show how stiff and limited the game's structure is. Instead of feeling clever, it sometimes feels like you're just tapping through tasks that want to feel smarter than they actually are. Eventually, Survival Unit moves you into Raccoon City, complete with the iconic police department and some familiar faces. Claire Redfield shows up early, but she arrives with the energy of someone bumping into you at the mall, not someone surviving a collapsing city full of flesh eaters. The character portrayals don't feel grounded, the interactions lack weight, and the dialogue, well, let's say it makes small talk sound intense by comparison. This is a game set in one of the bleakest, most terrifying fictional outbreaks in gaming history, yet somehow the conversations feel like everyone is just mildly inconvenienced. The emotional tone is so mismatched that it starts breaking the immersion rather than building it. But the biggest problem hits once the combat kicks in. Resident Evil normally thrives on tension, close quarters fights, and that feeling of constant pressure. Survival Unit tosses all that aside and replaces it with RTS-style battles, where you place characters like chess pieces and watch waves of enemies march in. Instead of dodging a zombie lunging at your face, you're placing barricades in a neat little line like you're preparing for a neighborhood watch meeting. The fear disappears, the urgency disappears, and the combat becomes something that feels more like a mobile strategy prototype than anything connected to Resident Evil's identity. And once the gacha mechanics show up, things get even more predictable. The helipad recruitment system is flashy, sure. You fire a flare, a helicopter swoops in, and boom, here's a character card. Resident Evil Survival Unit blends base building with real-time strategy, tasking players with securing resources, upgrading a base, and assigning survivors to different roles. But underneath the cool animations, it's just the usual mobile loop of hoping luck comes through while the game nudges you towards spending more resources. To be fair, the game does try. The graphics are better than expected for a mobile RE project, the environments look polished, and the exploration sections clearly had effort put into them. There's also a story sprinkled throughout the missions, so is Resident Evil Survival Unit worth playing based on the demo? It's not terrible, and there are definitely a few enjoyable moments, especially during environmental exploration, but there simply isn't enough here to genuinely recommend it. Everything the game wants to be is overshadowed by design choices that don't feel particularly strong as a standalone mobile experience either. If you're extremely curious or just want to experiment with the RE universe in a totally different format, the demo is harmless to try. But if you're looking for a satisfying, engaging, or authentically Resident Evil experience, Survival Unit doesn't deliver the kind of feeling that makes the series special. So that's Resident Evil Survival Unit, a demo with some nostalgia but not quite the full RE experience. If curiosity wins, try it out, but don't expect to be blown away. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more gaming reviews.